Again, another week, another victory for you guys. West Oregon, the team that kind of had your number, doing battles over the years, and you guys get off the lead, and Western obviously, as you knew, would respond.
Mm-hmm.
But the second half, definitely the offense and the defense with the 10 sacks. I think, looking at it, that from everybody, a team effort in this subject.
It clearly was a team effort, and we continue to do things that I feel you need to do in this game to be successful, and that's play good team football. And we've got all three phases that have contributed and certainly contributed to Saturday's win. Obviously, you start with our defense. I mean, 10 sacks, relentless pressure on Bergman, their quarterback, tremendous effort by our defense. The offense doing what they need to do, responded, answered, scores with scores in that third quarter. And our kicking game, a big kickoff return by Jaquan Gardner to set up one of those third quarter touchdowns. So again, we're taking care of the football, we're running the football effectively, we're stopping the run, and we're getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's a great recipe right now.
That one touchdown was a Gardner that was just kind of carrying the guys. We had our chance to watch two games here
Mm-hmm.
at Broken Bull, but it seems like definitely an exciting product, but something you don't see, something that you're going to go home like very happy with what you're seeing out there.
He is an electric player. He really is, and has added a great deal to our offense. And I think taken a great deal of pressure off of Nick Riccadulli, for example. And here Nick runs for over 100 yards, and people talk about the 17-yarder that, as they should, that Jaquan got for a touchdown. And we've got weapons, and that's something we lacked a year ago. And again, he is Jaquan Gardner continues to come out. He was the one that got the kickoff return, and then the touchdown on the 17-yarder. Certainly, we got another freshman at quarterback in Robert Weber, who I think played his best game for us, 20 of 28, 275 yards. He's had 3 of our 4 games now without a turnover, without an interception. Continues to do what we need our quarterback to do, and that's manage the football game. And so, again, it's just we're getting big plays and great efforts by a lot of players, and that's why you find yourselves today, why we find ourselves at 4-0. Again, we're getting a lot of players that are playing at a high level, and it's been fun to be a part of that. These kids deserve all the credit.
Obviously, all the coaches always want to see even more improvement. Aside from all the success, what are areas do you feel like they would be better at that?
Well, it's across the board. Again, we're only 4 games into a 10-game season. So again, we expect to go out each and every week and be better. And you don't look at anything specific as far as a certain area. It's better defensively, better offensively, better in the kicking game. We can always be better. This is a game where perfection is unattainable, but you always strive for that, and we're certainly no different. We will strive to be as perfect or as close to perfect as we can, and that's the standard that we hold ourselves to. And so. Again, we're pleased with outcomes, but it goes away quickly, as I've said. If you don't prepare yourself during the week to be at your best come Saturday, and that certainly is our goal again this week, as it was our goal last week, as it will be the goal next week, and there's a lot of improvement in every area that this football team can and will improve in.
It's the first official conference game. The fact that you guys have been playing league opponents this season, you feel like that this Jacks team is already in that conference mode, in that conference play mode?
No question about it. Again, we've got rivalries now built up with the Azusa Pacifics, the Dixie States, the Western Oregons, our last 3 opponents. So whether it's a conference or non-conference, that discussion never came up. It just, and we will talk about the beginning of the conference race, obviously, certainly, because that's a goal that we have. But again, we get ready to play on Saturday, and when you think about it, we talk about this as a team, that all the work that goes in from the end of one season to the beginning of the next, all the hours that these kids have spent in the weight room, training, the sacrifices that they've made for 10 opportunities. That's all we get, and we're after Saturday, we're halfway through, and it goes that quickly. So to not take advantage, to not give your best or take full advantage of each of those 10 opportunities would be a tremendous mistake. And so conference, non-conference, again, we get ready to play. Yes, it's a conference game, and we know now that the conference standings will reflect that and everything. But again, it's an opportunity to go out and play the game these kids have spent the last 9 months preparing for. And we'll go out and hopefully be at our best once again, or be close to our best.
Well, let's talk about Saturday's game. South Dakota comes to town this week, a newest member of the GNAC, and what do you know about that?
Well, I got a lot of familiarity with their coaching staff, not much familiarity at all with the level of play, the style of play. Their head coach, Stacy Collins, worked for me for 2 years up at Western Washington. Two of their assistants, Zach Tinker, their offensive coordinator, and George Booker, their defensive line coach, played for me at Western, then got their start coaching with me at Western. And then their offensive line coach, Kenny Ackerman, was one of our offensive assistants here at Humboldt State in 2010 and 11. So know the coaching staff, learning about South Dakota Mines football and what they do offensively and defensively and in the kicking game. The first thing jumps out is what they have done and their productivity on offense. Trent McKinney is a transfer, their quarterback. He's a transfer from Montana, and he is putting up big time numbers right now. He set a conference record last week for all-purpose yards, over 500, ran for over 200, threw for nearly 300. He started 8 games at Montana, I think 2 years ago, so he's obviously a talent, and they're averaging well over 500 yards offensively right now. So they have been able to score a lot of points. Defensively, they've also given up a lot of points and a lot of yards. So again, we're gonna focus on getting better ourselves, taking that next step as a football team, and certainly prepare for a team that will bring a very potent offense with not only quarterback but some other playmakers at the playmaking positions, and then a defense that will come at you from a different angles and directions. So we'll get ourselves ready to play. It's homecoming. That's always big here at Humboldt, and we know we're going to have a good crowd, that the community's excited with our start, as they should be, as we are as well, and hopefully it's one more step. But we'll go back to work today and start preparing just like we did last week and just like we will next week.
You guys have shown this season on defense your ability, if it's to stop a quarterback or stop a running back, and this is obviously a game where there's a quarterback that very talented, a guy that's put up a lot of numbers, especially last week. And what's the game plan? And once again, stopping their key player.
Well, from a defensive standpoint, I think the plan is always try and identify what that opponent wants to do or does best, and then develop your plan starting with that, as trying to slow that down. And again, he's going to get his yards. They're going to throw it enough. He'll get his yards. But again, you want to prevent big plays. You want to make them earn everything they get. You want to put pressure on them, which is what we've been able to do. And you want to force throws that are not timed up or throws that are thrown before he wants to throw. And then hopefully get turnovers through that. So again, that's the turnover takeaway area with a team that does want to throw it a lot and has thrown it successfully. That's one of those areas. And as well as we played defensively last week with the 10 sacks and holding Bergman down, we only had the 1 interception, and our goals are for more than that. And certainly that'll be the same this week. Let's go out and try to force mistakes in the passing game that we can get our hands on and win that turnover battle, because it's something we're +6 right now in turnover takeaways. We lead the conference again. We've been plus in all 4 games, and 3 of the 4 games have not turned the ball over on the offensive side. So again, that's what you have to do. Take care of the football, force turnovers, certainly as you have a passing team. Now, he's also a kid that can hurt you with his feet, as evidenced by the fact he ran for over 200 yards last week in their win. So again, we're just going to have to continue to do what we do and hopefully get pressure through that 4-man rush and cover on the back end effectively, like we've been able to do thus far.
What I was going to say, more honors, individual honors for this Jackson team are carrying, getting the defensive player of the week, and it's nice, all the success that comes honors, but when it is due, and a nice honor for him getting that this week.
Alex Markarian was named the conference defensive player of the week, and very, very happy for Alex. He's one of our team captains, certainly one of our team leaders, as the captain position would indicate, and he's playing at a very high level right now. He's really stepped up his game for his senior year. He didn't have the benefit of a redshirt year 4 years ago. And he's been a big part of this football program over the last 4 seasons. So to see him get that individual recognition of player that comes through the Player of the Week honor, he certainly, I think, is establishing himself as one of the top defensive linemen, defensive ends in our conference, and hopefully there'll be more performances like the one he had Saturday night.
Last question, and obviously not gonna take much for you guys to get up for this game. Homecoming week, obviously the activities going on this week, on school, new members of the Hall of Fame, conference opener, a lot going on, but just talk about keeping the players focused and getting ready for this matchup.
Well, again, and I've had that question before, can you keep your players focused? And that's not been a problem thus far with this group. They have come to work every day ready to go to work, and I don't expect this to be any different. Homecoming is a big thing here at Humboldt State. We know there will be a big crowd Saturday night, in part because of our success and in part because it is homecoming. So those two things combined will I think, hopefully, pack the Redwood Bowl. But again, we also know there's going to be a lot of people back watching maybe their only game this season. We want to put on a good performance for them. We are, in that entertainment industry, and winning is great, and doing it in grand style is even better. And hopefully, we can go out and play at the level that we've been playing at, maybe take it up a notch, and send everybody home happy. But it's again, I don't think the focus or the events that surround homecoming will impact our players at all.
One more last question, and we'll get out of here. Watching video, South Dakota, a lot of your assistants now over there. Does anything so you look like, wait a second, this is like the Jackson watching here?
Well,
different personnel, but
yeah, I don't really see that. It's been quite a few years in some cases, but I take great pride in the fact that these guys have worked for me at some point, played for me, and two of them played for me. And the older I get, the more years I get under my belt in this job. Yeah, you take a lot of satisfaction in that something within their time, the time that we spent together, either as a player or as part of a coaching staff, was enough to lead them towards down a career path that they're now enjoying, and they now can give back to the kids that they coach. Hopefully in a manner that we that coach, had the privilege of coaching them a few years back, we're able to do. So again, they're all friends. I'm happy for them, but come Saturday, I want to beat them.
Yes, don't play this week.
All right.
All right, guys.